Did you know that there are 13 million people streaming their lives right now? The self-streaming culture in Asia is exponentially growing, with hundreds of streaming agencies hiring broadcasters to perform for their virtual audience, often augmenting their bodies in real time. On a city scale, there are more than 350 million video surveillance cameras worldwide, recording petabytes of footage every day. In the wild, hundreds of cameras are placed in remote environments and on endangered animals, observing landscapes and their inhabitants. Meanwhile, in outer space, NASA's International Space Station streams a view of the Earth in real time at all times. Access to these streams has transformed the moving image into an endless current that a user can step in and out of at any time. This live streaming condition extends the human eye into inaccessible environments and non-human perspectives, all within the immediacy of the present moment. In the lineage of expanded cinema, Current asks, what may a form of expanded streaming look and feel like? The outsourcing of imagination to artificial intelligence can most readily be observed in the cultural phenomenon of generative adversarial networks and deepfakes. These neural networks work in binary manners. The former works through competing datasets, the latter in collaborative encoding. Both mechanisms recompose visuals by combining multiple data inputs and have the potential to generate infinitely long takes, which redefine the cinematic cut. As GANs shift to include three-dimensional inputs, they add a z-depth to the geometry and introduce hyper-real volumetric simulations of reality. Neural networks are being trained to simulate and reinvent time-based moving images by content mashups, introducing potent cultural ambiguities around the questions of authenticity. At the same time, they redefine the role of movie directors, collapsing pre-production with post-production, transforming cinema into an information-based transference. Within a live stream context, algorithms are capable of finding events within non-events, collapsing significant moments with the mundane and predicting outcomes. Current imagines how time might collapse based on viewers' engagement with AI-generated content, and thus form an algorithmically infused cinematic vocabulary. The contemporary advent of new sensing technologies is shifting the current state of visual content to include three dimensions. Through remote satellites, we have transitioned from viewing the Earth from a planar map to a three-dimensional globe. Depth LiDAR sensors and motion trackers used in cinema, virtual reality, and gaming industries have transformed the cinematic language of navigation into an editing technique. Instead of pre-cut-to-cut montage, we now experience navigation-based world-to-world transitions, where spaces get constructed through a recursive interaction between the virtual space and the user's real-time navigation and attention. The transition from 2 to 3 dimensions has enriched the image with more information. Currently, all images and videos produced are embedded with spatial metadata. Photogrammetry reconstructions and LiDAR scans of environments can be localized to GPS-specific points. When coupled with multiple real-time cameras and sensor inputs of the same location, the informationally rich space of volumetric construction can provide decentralized perspectives to events. Vision mechanisms of self-driving cars already use real-time collaborative vision to cross-check what they perceive with each other. Within the framework of volumetric attention-based navigation, Current speculates on the potential of this type of collaborative vision to authenticate truth for users. 400 hours of video are uploaded to YouTube every minute, and 1 billion hours of video are being watched every day. In order to optimize content suggestion in YouTube, Google's deep learning research team produced the largest scale industrial recommendation system in existence. Algorithmic personalization of content is present in most online platforms and impression-based advertising mechanisms like Google Ads. Users' search engine history, viewing data, and banking statements are all taken into account by these algorithms. Netflix takes user interactions, title ratings, and viewing history to categorize users into global communities with similar tastes and preferences. Current anticipates that the future of algorithmic curation of content will be linked not only to a user's archive database, but also to their real-time biometric data inputs. For example, detection of a user's gaze during a specific environment allows the system to prioritize and optimize similar content for their own nonlinear narrative. With such a personalized current, curated based on our embodied experiences, we may no longer want to sit in an audience with 50 other people watching the same exact content.